Another Do Whatever Detour brought to you by Habit Coffee Company. And I cannot think of a better sponsor for the Do Whatever Detours, especially because these are usually fueled by me overdosing on caffeine, or at least highly dosing on caffeine. And then having a bunch of ideas smashed together in my head and maybe trying to make some structure out of them. Sometimes pulling the microphone or the camera out is like the best way to actually build structure around something. Add to that a little too much caffeine. In fact, you can actually see, if you're watching the video version of this, you can see Habit coffee cup sitting empty in the background. So there you go. Go to yournewhabit.com. Use code DOWHATEVER. Save some money. You can even get a subscription, which is kind of the cool way to do it, kind of how the cool kids are doing it, because that way coffee just shows up and you don't have to think about it. And if you can tell, like if you still have coffee left over when the new bag arrives, that means you're not really killing it enough, right? Like your killing it level is too low if you've got a bag of coffee left over at the end of the month. So yeah, get yourself supplied up, yournewhabit.com. So all the things that were running together in my head today, and this is kind of classic Do Whatever podcast mentality here, is I got a lot of things going on, a lot of different responsibilities and hobbies all going together at the same time. And the hobbies obviously are very easy to get the most passionate about and start trying to formulate ideas and plans and, think philosophically about. And work is its own challenge. The professional and the family obligations are their own challenges, but the hobbies are kind of where that's like escapism. But at the same time, like, even though it is escapism to think about the things that I'm choosing to do with my time, I still like to have structure and I guess discipline in those things, because I feel like it's a big it's a flywheel effect. Like if you have discipline and you have, mental and physical conditioning, that's a part of everything that you're doing, even in the stuff that you love to do, the stuff that you, entertain yourself with, so to speak, or your diversions, your hobbies, your extra crafts, those things are going to help you in the primary crafts, which are, your family life, your relationships, and your work. So what I got thinking about today is, like, right now, there's a ton going on. Like, I recently, I was promoted to the next level, to level 2 in Muay Thai, which I'm very, very happy about. It's weird, like 39 years old, just turned 39, by the way. So 39 years old and got promoted in a martial art, basically, got a belt or whatever. And they don't do belts in Muay Thai, but there's levels to this shit. That's the best way to say it, right? But yeah, I got moved up a level and I was really, really excited about that because it's something that I'm really, really into right now. I've always been passionate about the martial arts and it's always been a part of who I am. But, to have that recognized by people that I respect at the place where I train, it's Team Rabati, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. Muay Thai? I think that's the cow version. Muay Thai. It's like very Thai in Spanish. But to have that recognized by people that I respect and have my peers applaud me for the effort put in, that was very, very cool. So I've really kind of doubled down my efforts there. I've really focused in on being a good teammate. I've focused in on making myself the most ready that I can be. And hopefully that gives me the chance to gather more knowledge, pass it back on. And that's kind of the coolest part about moving up in anything, getting to that next level in anything, is that you get the chance to teach. Now, alongside that, bow hunting season is about to open. Dove season opened a couple weeks ago. I've gone a couple times, total strikeouts. The weather's been weird, not shooting a lot of doves, but I'm preparing for opening day of bow hunting season. And that is tomorrow as of me recording this detour right now. So that going on. And then in addition to that, I am competing in the Scottish Highland Games again next week. And I'm kind of preparing for that at the same time, trying to be physically and mentally prepared to do that. So with all these things happening and weighing on me, I think it was a natural progression to think, okay, I have to be a little economical with my efforts here. There's no way that I can be doing Muay Thai 2 or 3 times a week, training outside of Muay Thai for that conditioning, and then also doing the sort of preparation that it takes for bow hunting, and then also doing preparation to compete in, the sport that I've loved for these many past years now. Like, how can I be economical with my effort? There's only so much effort I have in a given day, after work, after family, after all the regular care that happens in your life, your duty, so to speak. So how am I economical with my effort? And it really got me thinking, you start to with the advent of experience, you start to think about, what can I best invest my time in? What is the thing that's going to help me the most with this? And it's not really a surprise that it comes back down to physical strength. That is, now I say that because that requires an investment of time. There's no way around that. The mental part of the game, I can do and I keep using this word, but I can do that economically, and I can do that on a different time scale. Like, after I hit stop recording here, I can sit here and visualize for a couple of minutes, or I can read, I can consult resources, I can have conversations that help me with the mental part of it, that help me with the mental part of all three of those things. Those things can be done a little more on my schedule. Strength doesn't care about what my schedule is. If I've only got 3 minutes to put into getting stronger, I'm only going to get 3 minutes worth of results out of strength training. So you do have to spend time building and maintaining physical strength. You have to be strong. You have to be capable. I talk about that a lot. And a big part of being capable is being strong enough to do what you're doing. So that was what I really distilled it down to, is that I need to make sure that I'm strong enough to do all these things that I'm asking myself to do right now. Mentally strong, obviously, but physically strong. Have I put in the time? Have I put in the time? Have I put in the effort? Have I put in the intensity that's necessary to train my body to be ready for that? Now, results are mixed. In terms of where I am preparation-wise, I would say because I've spent so much time and effort on Muay Thai, on kickboxing lately, that I think I'm more prepared for that physically than I might be some of the other challenges. To compare that against, I think, shooting the bow, I think I have a baseline level of ability now with the compound bow that I don't feel like it would take a long bout of neglect for me to drop below. So as I've approached the opening of season, I have been shooting more. I've been fine-tuning my equipment. I've been fine-tuning me, the piece of equipment, to fire that bow, and making sure that I still have the same amount of muscle control. And then in terms of the Highland Games, I've probably done the least amount of preparation for that. I'm not going to lie. But the dirty little secret there is that I have 8 years of experience in that sport, training at a reasonably high level. I wouldn't call it a high level. I'll always got to put the qualifier reasonably. I have the experience to know how to kick things into gear there. Am I as strong as I need to be to compete at the level that I'm accustomed to? No, I'm not right now. I'm in better shape than I probably was for a lot of my competing career. I'm healthier than I was, but the weights for distance, the stones, the caber, they don't care about how really well conditioned you are. They don't care about how healthy you feel or how many abs you can see. They don't care about that kind of stuff. Those implements care about how strong you are and how fast you can move them. So am I at the peak for that? No, I'm not. But this competition that's coming up next week is really more of a kind of a return to the sport for me. I haven't competed since January of 2018. And that was really sort of a ceremonial, like I went for a friend because I was invited by a friend, and it was an experience, and it was a game that I'd never done and I really wanted to be part of. But I wasn't ready. I was dealing with a lot of stuff over the past 18 months before that just left me kind of in a rut. Some of that you can go back to old, do whatever episodes and listen to and figure out. But, I wasn't there. I wasn't all there. And this competition now, after, 10 months, is really, I want to step back on the field and see how it feels to be there. Does it still ignite the same passion in me? Is it as much fun as it was before? Without the pressure of I want to get to this level. I want to hit these numbers. I don't care about the numbers I hit. I know that's a really cliche thing to say, and it sounds like I'm building an excuse beforehand, but I genuinely don't. I want to feel competition again, and I want to feel what it's like to push my body out there. So my preparation has not been Highland Games centric. I'm not going to lie, but I feel like I've maintained enough physical strength to where when I pick up, those implements, they're not going to shock me. Nothing's going to feel like, oh, wow, this is way heavier than I expected. I've maintained enough conditioning and strength to where I won't be totally surprised by it. But I really do, as simple as it seems, having that as the baseline, your physical strength and your capability being the baseline upon which you build everything else, is so incredibly telling. Because just like I started off when I started this Detour, it flywheels into everything else. It's the flywheel analogy again. It's that adding strength, adding some velocity to that wheel, adding strength into the mix, anything you endeavor to do, it gets you moving faster towards it. Even if it's not a physical goal, if it's not a sports goal, that idea of building physical strength. I saw this thing on Instagram recently. Somebody posted, and it's, I've seen a million versions of it, but it basically says everything I need to know I learned in the gym. And that's a little bit simplistic. I understand, but there are some basic lessons that you learn with a barbell in your hand, with lifting heavy things, with pushing yourself, that tend to roll pretty well into everything else that you're trying to do. They add more velocity, they add more ease, they add more comfort, and they add more abilities to what you're doing. They add a lot more, those things that you pick up through that effort, through that constant sustained effort, that just make everything else seem a little bit easier. And I really, really like that. And that is something that motivates me and gets me to go pick up a barbell. It's not always that I feel fired up and ready and I got a fire in my belly. It's just that I know that this investment of time is going to pay off. And think about how rare that is. If you're in the world of business, and I'm very, deep into the world of marketing and advertising right now with the number of ventures that I'm working on. Think about that. If somebody says, hey, if you invest $100, you're guaranteed to get $150 back. Are you going to take that? Yes, because there really is no such thing as a guarantee. There really isn't in the world of business. You could lose money. It's a form of gambling, marketing and advertising, putting money into advertising, or any sort of marketing, anything that you're investing in a business. You're taking chances. There's no guarantees. But if you put sustained effort in the weight room, on the road, where if you're running, in the hills, if you're hiking, if you're running mountains, if whatever it is, if it's pulling a bowstring, whatever it is, if you're putting in the effort, the sustained effort to get stronger and more capable at what you're doing, it's going to pay off. Is it going to pay off in absolute numbers? Are you going to absolutely get stronger? Most likely, yes. But even if you don't, those tertiary effects, those other things that come along with strength training, the process of becoming, as I like to call it, the process of becoming stronger is more important than actually becoming stronger. And you could make a case, and I think anybody over the age of 30 that's trained for a long time will tell you, is that the process of becoming and the things that you get from strength training or from maintaining a strong and capable body and mind, the things that come from that are way more important than the total number, than how much weight was on the bar that you moved, because that's going to go away. That's going to fade. When you get to my age and above, eventually it's going to go downhill. Your capabilities are going to go downhill. But the machine that you built, the blade you sharpened, that's something you're going to be able to use for much longer